Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Greg Furman, market analyst here at TraderPlanet.com, and these are the market positions for May the 18th, 2010. Now our first position for tonight is going to be in the foreign exchange market, specifically British pound, US dollar. We're going to be looking at a contrarian position here based on a number of indicators from Vantage Point. Now what we're looking at here, we have our triple EMA crossover that's taking place to the downside, with our major resistance now at 149.42, 147.45, and 145.69 with a close of 144.82. Now for tomorrow, what we're going to be looking for is a pullback towards the Vantage Point predicted low of the day. Now again, this is a contrarian trade. It's definitely going to be a volatile one, but let's go in and have a look at the daily report from Vantage Point and see what we've got here. Now looking at the software, we can see I've got this blown up so everybody can see it. We've got 144.82 as the close. Now for tomorrow we're looking at a high of 145.90 and a low of 143.78 with the neural index down. Now what I want to point out to everybody here is these predicted short, medium, and long-term differences. These are extremely oversold. Now what usually happens when we get in a situation like this, we're likely to see a significant bounce. So we're going to be using the predicted low of the day in that counter trend trade, buying off the 143.78 level. So now that we've identified what we're going to do and why we're doing it, let's go back in and have a look at this chart. We can see here that the predicted strength indicator from Vantage Point is starting to turn positive and moving higher. The predicted medium and long-term differences are both heavily oversold and are hitting probably what in my opinion will be a base. Now we can see that last time that we've hit this back here at this same level, the British pound went from the 148 level all the way up into the 154 level for about a 500 or 600 point move. So we're looking for something similar to that, for that to happen later on this evening. Now again, looking at the predicted true strength indicator from Vantage Point, also suggesting this thing is heavily oversold. So again, we're using this potential corrective move higher to get into those counter trend long positions. Now I don't think personally we're going to extend much past this 147.45. Now our first obstacle to get past will actually be the 145.69 area. So what we'll be looking for is a pullback towards the 143.78 where we're going to enter into a buy position. We want to have at least 120 point stop on this trade. Very important that we give this trade a bit of room to develop, because the market's going to try and push this lower, and we want to again use that corrective move higher to pick up about 150 to 200 pips. So that's our first position, and again that's in the foreign exchange market. Now for our second position tonight, we're going to be looking at natural gas futures contracts. We've been trading this one over the better part of last week. We're going to continue with this trade. Now what I want to point out to everybody here is that despite all the market volatility in the crude oil, in the gold contracts, the equities, the currency, the natural gas contracts that I recommended last week have consistently and steadily moved higher. So we can see this, the triple EMA crossover, the base of this comes in at 418, 427, and 436. We've closed at 439, which is a good strong close. So now let's go into the predicted high and the predicted low for tomorrow and see what we're looking at with these natural gas contracts. Now for tomorrow, we can see here we've closed today at again, I just want to point this out quickly, at 439. We've again had a higher close, which is a very good sign that this is going to continue to move higher. Now let's go in and have a look at what we're looking at for a low tomorrow. We've got 431 and 456 with the neural index up. We're not yet into that overbought territory. We are creeping towards it though at the 100 level and the 195 and the 167, but I believe we have room to extend here. So for tomorrow, what we're going to be doing, 431 maybe a little bit aggressive here. That is the predicted low for the day. So let's have a look at those predicted moving averages and our pivot support area again. 418 is our major level, 427 secondary level, and our first level of support in this case is 436. So we're going to be using between the predicted low and the 8-day predicted moving average at 427 to enter into those buy positions. So your aggressive traders will go in at the 431 level. Traders that want to kind of sit on the sideline here and see if this will move a little bit lower, they're going to want to watch the 427 area, and in this particular case we want to have our stops sitting at about $3.95. That's where I would prefer to have those positions. Now again, it's very important that we give this trade a bit of room to develop. I would again, now that we've made this triple EMA crossover of critical importance, let's have a quick peek here and see what's been going on over the last 6 months. Now we can see that natural gas, the crossover to the downside took place here, which was back in mid to late January. We've been steadily moving lower on these contracts. So this triple EMA crossover now making that cross to the upside. Guys, this is, in my opinion, a significant move. This suggests that natural gas is likely going to move higher back towards at least the 5 to 550 range. Now, again, we want to make sure that by going back into longer time frames, I'm just going to put this back, that we can identify things like this and use it to our advantage. So Vantage Point has, using the triple EMA crossover, is looking at a more medium and longer term approach. It's very difficult to fool this indicator. You can see how the market's pushed higher and tried to break through the triple EMA, but again, Vantage Point refused to put out that buy signal. However, now they clearly have putting out this buy signal. You can actually see this series of green candles continually moving higher. This all is supportive of further long positions on the natural gas. Now, there's several different ways to trade natural gas. The UNG, the natural gas ETF. You can trade the natural gas E-mini futures contracts, or the main futures contracts. Either one should be very productive. Again, we're going to be looking for a slight pullback, then a move higher. Now, for our third position tonight here, we're going to be looking a little closer at the gold contracts. Now, looking at gold, I talked about this in the Forex market outlook, in the Forex weekly outlook, I should say. We can see that gold still continues to struggle. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to put up the triple EMA crossover here, and let's have a little closer look at these gold contracts. Now, I think we've got an opportunity for shorts here, but we want to be very cautious of this. Now, the predicted medium and long-term differences, both sitting up in heavily overbought territory. The predicted TSI from Vantage Point, also in overbought territory, as is the predicted MACD. So with that said, let's go in and have a look at the daily report. We're again going to be looking for a counter trend position here on these gold contracts. We're going to be looking for a sell position. Now the high for tomorrow, this is the second day to point out the neural index is pointing down. 1243 is the predicted high, 1219 is the predicted low. Now, just so everybody can see this, we want to point out where we've closed today. We've closed at 1228. So tomorrow, on a move towards this predicted high of Vantage Point for tomorrow at the 1243 area, we want to use that to set short positions. Now, if you're trading gold contracts, again, you want to have your stops probably just over the 1290 mark. Make sure you give this plenty of room to develop, but it's in my respectful opinion, we're probably going to break this 1219 area sooner rather than later. Now again, this is a counter trend position, but looking at the other multiple indicators from Vantage Point, there's a number of indicators here suggesting that the gold contracts are getting extremely tired here. Now, with that said, I'm going to go in and have a quick look at the short-term crossover from Vantage Point and see if it's actually going to cooperate with me here and share the opinion. Now, looking at here, we're just getting this short-term crossover is about to take place. So again, the short-term crossover, a very volatile indicator, but it's a useful indicator as long as it's used in conjunction with these other indicators from Vantage Point. So in this particular case, again, it's a counter trend position. We're looking for a move up to the predicted high in that 1243 area for the sole purpose of setting short positions. So those are the market positions for May the 18th, 2010. And again, my name is Greg Furman, market analyst here at TraderPlanet.com.